art director at the Kersnikova Institute. Jurij, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you very much. It's sunny outside, and the sun came also yesterday afternoon. So for our speakers' reception, we would have beautiful weather.
Jurij, today we should have been in Ljubljana, and you would have been our host for the 31st Ecsite conference. As a member of the program committee, I had the pleasure to visit you and your team in Ljubljana a little more than 1 year ago, and I can share with attendees today that you were preparing an amazing edition. While we are very sad not to be enjoying your hospitality right now, we can still have the pleasure to hear you talk on the world of art and science and what it can bring to science engagement. And to whom what promises to be an inspirational conversation, we have asked someone who has one foot on the art and science world and another one in the Ecsite committee, Andrea Bandelli, who is the Executive Director of Science Gallery International. Good evening, Andrea. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Thank you, Dorothée. So wonderful to be here and see so many people.
Yes, you're right. And before we can let you start with your section, we actually need to pull one of our great technicians on the stage so she can then share the session's slides via her screen. Hello, Marie. How are you? Marie, are you coming? I'm sure she's coming. So, when she's coming, let me see that. Very nice to see a first image from backstage. Very soon. I hear that there are actually 11 of you working backstage today to make this happen. Thank you to all of you. But now, Marie, are you coming? So we need to have Marie on stage to share the slides for the session. And as soon as Marie arrives, I will disappear and leave the floor from there and you will. But Marie,
I can only imagine the work behind the stage. It's fantastic what the whole team is putting together today.
Yeah. What you see seems to be very easily to do, but it's not. We made a lot of rehearsal, and it's very, very complicated. And I'm not sure that I have understood everything, but I'm sure that Marie is coming. Maybe Yuri and Andrea, you can maybe start.
Yes, we can start, and as soon as the slides are ready, we can have those. There's no problem. Thank you so much, and Yuri, thank you. It is such a pleasure to be talking with you. And while indeed we should have been there today and enjoy all the fantastic work that you've shown in over 25 years. Let's remember indeed that Kapelica Gallery has been around for over 25 years, and it's a world leader really in terms of art and science. But whenever we talk about the future, we should actually talk a little bit about the past as well. And I think it's very important to say a few words about what the origins of Kapelica Gallery and the Kersnikova Institute and how it came to be.
Well, as you said, this year is 25 years, although that we were kind of alive and moving before as well. Well, my background is architecture. I finished the architecture school in Ljubljana, and I came in a gallery environment by showing my speculative architectures around. So this is how I entered the art world. It was a kind of from the side door. And it was an advantage in the same way, because my approach was kind of different, and that allows us to develop a different approach to art.
Thank you.
Yes, I've seen that Marie.
Thank you, Marie. Yes. So we'll have while we speak, we'll have some of the images indeed of the work that has been shown in Kapelica. Yes, go on, Juri, please tell us indeed how.
Well, this is also how we structured our appearance today. A little bit of history, and then where we are today, a little bit of storytelling, what is going on right now. Well, as I said, since the beginning, we delved in early 90s already into the world of art, science, art, technology, and trying to figure out what does it mean to individuals and to society. You have to know that in early 90s, the first personal computers came. There were no mobile phones and so on. However, the artists were already there. They were kind of thinking and speculating what can be a possible future. How can we live with technology since it starts coming to our lives so disruptively. And they were investigating different ways of how to use technology, of how to live with it, how to co-evolve with it. So this is why there were, most radical artistic applications were dealing with technology applied on the body, like embodying technology. So there is no empty space within, and it is radical, and it brought a lot of very interesting questions, and immediately we can understand that we can develop a very intimate relationship with technology, and the interfaces that are on our use. So it was not just looking at technology as something that engineers did for gaining money, and developing the industry. It was already then very quickly you could understand, that this is something more profound.
Right.
And well, the domain of digital, it is one side, but as the digital and also the mechatronics are basically reverse engineering of nature. The artist using digital tools could immerse into biology, tissue engineering, synthetic biology really quick and try questioning, if we are inspired, if the technology and science is inspired by nature, what is this nature all about? And all in the sudden we've seen that, all the tech is just the tool, and it is very important to understand that these tools has to be used by humans, not that the humans are used by tools.
Exactly, yeah.
So, we start looking around, and the artists were investigating projects where they were bringing in the notion of nature as something that we have to develop, a relationship that it's not hierarchical, not a white man of top of everything that is subordinating all different kind of living beings and also material resources, but that this post-communistic approach is leading us to somewhere where this hierarchical structure is dissolved, and it's our connections between us and other living beings like plants, natures, microorganisms, all biological stuff. It's more horizontal. So if we can move forward with another picture, we can see, how the artist delved into these living systems.
Exactly.
We deliberately are yes.
Yeah, no, I was saying indeed, Marie, you can go on with the other set of slides, because we'll see some of the examples, and we'll go into details also of some really of looking at this relationship between humans and plants, for instance. But there is also something that you touched before, which I think is very important, is we often see this as objects, as artworks, but actually it is the process indeed that is important. And it's a very participatory process. And in a sense, you were doing participation way before it became this kind of trend and keyword that is so often used now. Can you tell us a little bit indeed about the participatory process between the audience, the artists, the researchers, and the gallery itself as a platform for this development?
Well, we had a privilege, to follow the artists who are working together with scientists and with engineers. And these creative collisions, are so interesting. Sometimes are more inspiring than the work itself. I shouldn't say that. But it is really interesting process. And we wanted to bring this thrill of these creative collisions to the audience as well. So we invited audience to come and to see our labs. We have 3 labs: Biotech lab, which is a biotechnological lab. We have a lab for mechatronics called Rampa, and we have Vivarium, which is a lab for animals, plants, and robots. And we do programs in these labs as well, which is a kind of support programs, in order to prepare our audience to understand what this is all about and how to immerse into the interactive installations, because as we know, we can there are processes that we cannot understand fully, but by embodying the experience, we can feel things, and this is beyond reason. A very famous avant-garde poet, Russian poet Khlepnikov said, it's beyond the reason, it's zaumno. So we feel, and this is when you immerse, it's a synchronic impulse. It's not linear. It's not like in literature, in other arts, or even in science and humanities, like words, letter to letter, words to words. This is all linear, experiment to experiment. While in art, you just, you immerse in, you go deeply.
Yeah, you really, you push the boundaries basically of knowledge, because a lot of your work is actually exploring those paradoxes that we have yet, in science and technology, and you really push the creation of new knowledge. And we can see soon a couple of the examples actually. Can you tell us indeed some of the ways in which researchers and scientists really look at what is at the limits of basically the rational approach to knowledge?
Yes, well, we have this scientific approach, which is like very strict, following the rules. We have the approach of engineers, which is, they solve problems, and you have to come up with a problem. While on the other side, we have artists, who are not really sure about things, and they investigate, they jump into unknown, and they are bringing scientists and engineers into these unknown territories where there is very few things you can rely on. And the biggest challenge of these consortium groups, of these co-workings, is embracing the unknown. And this is what actually, it's so interesting, following them, and see how they unfold slowly, into something that is not science, it's not just a problem solving, but it's an artwork that addresses your emotions, your feelings, and that upon which you can create your stance. You're not really sure, but it's a new territory. And for that new territories, they need to create a special language they could understand each other. And from this language, also the solutions appear differently. So recently, we can see that artists, scientists, and engineers are developing a different kind of technologies. Not a technology that it's an application that, you know, solves something for you. It is not like that. They combine things that are, on a first glance, pretty irrational, you know? But it allows you to speculate about the contents. And you said that we managed to create a different set of knowledges. You know? It's very much about meaning, because science, it's about knowledge, while the art, it's about meaning. And now questioning what this means for us, you know, and when you create an irrational instrument, you know, the question is there. You need to speculate, you know. And for example, we see now in the background one piece,
right,
that it's dealing in a domain of quantum biology. No, it's done by two artists, Mojca Založnik and Gregor Krpić. Mojca, it's trained as a biologist, but she's also having a master in arts. She's working in the Institute of Oncology, and she's performing the test of cancerogenous cells. And when she came to us like 5 years ago, she said, look, this is what I'm doing, and I'm deeply convinced this is not enough. So I would like to enter, you know, the question of the illness, of this fatal illness, from a different angle. So she tried to create an environment together with Gregor where we can observe what is happening on subcellular level. So they're using a sound pipette that is able to bring the single cell on above the terahertz sensor, so that we can hear what is happening in the cells. Right now, they are using one tech that they're embedding a small glass bed into a single cell and hit it with a laser. And there is an effect that it's called whispering gallery mode, where the light starts cycling, and this is allowing them to observe the cell, you know, but they are not observing it with directly, but indirectly, by trying to sonify it.
Yeah.
You know? So, but the sonifying, it's not over the microphone and the speakers. It's terahertz where the light and the sound meet, no? And there it's transferred to the bell, which represent the materiality of the cell. So there is no division between wave and the particle, no? Of course, we are not there yet, no? But all the elements that are there, all the electronics hidden into this ceramic laboratory desk that is growing from iteration to iteration, it's allowing the audience to come into this paradoxical domain, you know, and speculate about this technology that it's so difficult to transcribe with the language we have so far.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it is. I mean, you can really understand indeed the struggle of scientists to advance their understanding, and indeed the role of art to create the meaning. I think what you said before, that art is about science is about knowledge and art is about meaning, is really a beautiful statement. Can we move to the next work, because this is also another yes, this one, the plant-machine communication. Can you tell us a little bit about this work, which is also fantastic?
Yeah, well, this work is actually set just behind my back. I'm sitting in our vivarium laboratory where this investigation is taking place. We are living with this installation for more than 2 years now, and it's an installation of Spela Petric, who is working with something like 5-6 scientists and engineers in doing it. And it's about intercognition between plants and humans. But since plants are living in totally different scale, different time scale, different evolutionary scale, and so on, for humans it's super difficult to jump in and to simplify, the two way of cognitions. So she implement machine learning in between. So what we have now here on the video, it's a little bit different of what we are having now in my back, but just to let you understand how we are gradually evolving it. What we see is a camera pointing to the reverse side of the plant, to the back side of the plant, and the camera is on the microscope where we are allowed to see a small pore on the back side of a plant leaf, which is called stomata, and it's used to exchange the vapor, the moist. And what she did is that she took several days of filming. You can see this stomata on the video projection behind. These are the green spots that are numbered. And when she did a time lapse and put it fast forward, we can see this stomata opening and closing like mouths, like talk. And she, when they get this, they hack the face recognition and lip reading software. So they employ machine intelligence to read the lip. Of course,
were they making any sense?
It's not speaking, but still, it's a very nice way of how to invent people into questioning themselves about the plant lives, which is from our anthropocentristic view. We see plants as a decoration, and if they are growing well, we think that the plants are well. But this is not necessarily true. Maybe we are exhausting them. So this is where the project is heading. But in this one, you can see in the lower right corner, you see a person, and this person is an expert of lip reading that teaches pupils to read from lips. And you have him reading these lips, which is totally impossible. So he's producing non-verbal noises like and so. And on the side, you see the machine trying to make sense of these lips.
Wow.
Right now, the project is developing towards a more complex environment where the sensors are applied. And the neural networks behind is gathering the data. And after a while, it will have so much data that it will start thinking like a plant. So the AI will think it is a plant. And in one moment, we will cut off the environment, like temperature, heating, moist, and so on. And we'll give the commands of the actuators to the AI. And then the communication between the AI and the plant will start. And very probably it will be a struggling process. It will be a long process. I hope the plant will survive. We will do everything. But we'll try to be aware and try to follow the process and to extract the humans as actors. So this plant-machine conversation will maybe lead to another environment, to another set of environment. Maybe the light will not be like it is in the circadian rhythm, like night, day, but maybe it will flash. Because the plant will like more a flashing light that these day-night things. So a different kind of language will be developed, and through which we can reflect our anthropocentristic understanding of what the plants are.
Exactly. This is so fascinating because if you think, in the past 3 months, we've read so much about nature taking back, all the because of all the changes of the coronavirus to the world. But actually, that is a larger and a maybe simplistic conversation about nature. But this is exactly what is happening. We are talking about understanding the complex relationship between humans and plants to a level that is way, way more sophisticated than what we were used to do. This is really so fascinating. And can we see also the next work? This is indeed the last one we want to cover today. Can you tell us a little bit about this Biobot?
Yes, of course. So, stemming from the fact that the technology that is available, it's somehow not fitting, this different way of thinking. The artists, scientists, and engineers start to develop different kind of technology. So what we have here is an incubator that was developed for the artistic purposes. We had projects before already where the artist wanted to employ a camera on a medium, in the growth medium where different kind of growing processes took place. And we were always having problems, to take the medium out of the incubator and putting it under the microscope. Now, we, together with the company, we created an incubator with the microscopes embedded already inside. So we have 9 fields that can be adjustable. We can adjust the temperature, so we can, see what temperature is the best for the growth medium, and we can follow what is happening right now in it, so that we are not guessing anymore. Because when the audience came to a gallery and we showed them the result, could be a fake. And this is where we are building our. I would say our qualities. We don't do fake projects. We don't do a lot of metaphorical things, because we are so much after this magic of life, this drama, that happens, and this actually magic and wonders, of life, and we do everything to be able to bring people into this micro performativity, molecular sculpturing things for which the language is not developed yet.
Right. And this is so interesting indeed what you said. You show the real thing. It's not fake. It's not a demonstration. So it's the real thing. That actually is a question that the audience raised, and we have just a minute actually. But how much do you think the context, so the science center or the art gallery, influences the audience experience? And I think that touches indeed to the different, because you are an art gallery in essence, but now you have also the lab. So how much does the context influences the audience experience?
Well, this context influences also us, also the art institutions, and this is why we feel that we are a part of Ecsite family, and all these scientific institutions, because I believe that we can bring to the science centers and to the museums this living science, these living things. Like I was telling before, like living lab is something that is a kind of, it has this performative power when people see happening, things. They don't just coming to see like disposables or dead artifacts,
right?
Or just artifacts that looks like in a storage, And I believe that museums, one in Asadan and also science centers, are not just, like the warehouses of the scientific experiments. In contrary, all the technology that is available, all the knowledge that is available right now, and all these, creative collisions about which I'm so fascinated, can be part of the scientific museums. It's a perfect environment that can, develop something totally new.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. This is so fascinating, and I wish we could go on for a longer time. But indeed, time to close our session. And thank you so much, Jurij. It has been fascinating to hear. And even if we couldn't be immersed in the environment, we had a glimpse indeed of your work. And I really encourage and recommend everybody to go and visit Ljubljana and the gallery as soon as possible. Dorothee, welcome back. Thank you so much for giving us the space to talk about these issues.
And thank you so much, Jurij and Andrea, for merging those words of art and science. And Jurij, I know that all of us in the Ecsite community would like to say a huge thank you to you for all the work, to you and your team, for all the work you have done around Ecsite 2020. Thanks a lot.
Well,
And I think Brad is already in the next session, so we will all be taken to meet him there.